Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Darwin Núñez transfer news. Liverpool agree £56.6 million deal to sell Uruguayan striker to Al Hilal. Darwin Núñez set to end 3-year stay at Liverpool after club agree deal with Al Hilal worth up to £56.6 million. Uruguayan forward scored 40 goals in 143 appearances at Anfield. Red set to make 8-figure loss on player who signed for initial £64 million plus significant add-ons. Liverpool have reached an agreement with Al Hilal for the sale of Darwin Núñez. It is understood the Saudi Pro League club are set to pay a fixed fee of £46.2 million, €53 million, plus add-ons that could take the deal to £56.6 million, €65 million. It is understood that Liverpool are yet to be informed that Núñez has given his green light to the move. AC Milan were interested and made an approach, but were unlikely to ever match these figures. Should Núñez leave Anfield, he will do so having scored 40 goals in 143 appearances for the club since a 2022 move from Benfica, which initially cost the Reds £64 million at the time. Despite scoring 18 goals in Jurgen Klopp's final season, he managed only 7 last term under Arne Slot, though did bag 2 vital stoppage time goals to give Liverpool a 2-0 win at Brentford in January. Analysis. Will Liverpool be sad to lose Núñez? I would be very sorry to lose him. He's a player that always gives you something, and I'm still hoping Núñez can evolve this move in another direction. He's Uruguay's cutting edge. His record for Uruguay is very good indeed. He's an optimist of the goal. He's always trying, always putting himself around, running into the channels. Although there are some Liverpool fans who have a resistance to him, there are many who really appreciate his efforts. This year, going into the World Cup, it's an important move to make, and he may come to the conclusion that going to Saudi will leave him fresher for the World Cup. But he would be a loss to the Premier League. Should Liverpool sign Isak with Núñez set to leave? Jamie Carragher says he wants Liverpool to sign Alexander Isak from Newcastle, but has questioned whether the club should be spending such big money. Liverpool have also signed Hugo Ekitike this summer, who can also play as a number 9, and Carragher says splashing out on the forward to have him potentially be a backup doesn't sit right with him. Speaking on the overlap, he said, "It will be an amazing signing. But from a Liverpool fan point of view, I don't want the club to spend £150 million on Isak. I could probably imagine that he was Liverpool's number 1 target, but there's something about Liverpool buying a striker Ekitike for £80 million and he's a backup. There's something about it that doesn't sit right to me. I look at Isak, he's obviously thrown his toys out of the pram once Arsenal and Liverpool signed a striker. From him and his agent's point of view, did they not tell Newcastle months ago that they wanted to move on? It just seems a little bit messy." Alexander Isak Liverpool transfer news. Jamie Carragher wants club to sign Newcastle striker but not for £150 million. Alexander Isak has been subject of a £110 million plus add-ons bid from Liverpool, which was rejected by Newcastle. Jamie Carragher has questioned the big money price tag, but says the signing would be amazing. Liverpool signed Hugo Ekitike earlier this summer. Jamie Carragher says he wants Liverpool to sign Alexander Isak from Newcastle, but has questioned whether the club should be spending such big money. Newcastle are braced for a second bid for Isak. However, he is unlikely to be sold unless the club can find a ready-made replacement. Their move for RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko looks to be usurped by Manchester United. Liverpool have also signed Hugo Ekitike this summer, who can also play as a number 9, and Carragher says splashing out on the forward to have him potentially be a backup doesn't sit right with him. Speaking on the overlap, he said, "It will be an amazing signing. But from a Liverpool fan point of view, I don't want the club to spend £150 million on Isak. I could probably imagine that he was Liverpool's number 1 target, but there's something about Liverpool buying a striker Ekitike for £80 million and he's a backup. There's something about it that doesn't sit right to me. I look at Isak, he's obviously thrown his toys out of the pram once Arsenal and Liverpool signed a striker. From him and his agent's point of view, did they not tell Newcastle months ago that they wanted to move on? It just seems a little bit messy. When I think of Liverpool, it doesn't look really planned. I don't think the plan is to sign a striker for £80 million and sign one for £120 million. I feel for Ekatike a little bit, because he's been brought in and then all of a sudden this Isak thing has come. I do want Liverpool to sign Isak, but £150 million for me feels like a Mbappe. You should be getting Mbappe for £150 million. Isak did not go on Newcastle's pre-season tour of Asia, citing a thigh issue. He instead took part in a personal training camp at his former club, Real Sociedad. The Sweden international returned to Newcastle's training ground earlier this week for treatment on his injury. It is not clear if he has met with head coach Eddie Howe, with the squad having returned from South Korea over the weekend. Analysis: why Isak is in demand. Alexander Isak scored 23 goals in the Premier League last season, second only to Mohamed Salah. The Sweden international also outperformed his expected goals, 20.42, underlining his elite-level finishing and composure in front of goal. The 25-year-old consistently finds space around the penalty spot, where he converts a high proportion of his shots. But he's far more than a poacher. 6 of his 36 efforts from outside the box found the net, demonstrating his range and technique. The chart below benchmarks Isak's per 90 stats against other strikers in Europe's top 5 leagues. He excels across a wide spectrum, from goal scoring and dribbling to opposition box entries and link-up play. Núñez deal may have ramifications on Isak's situation. The Darwin Núñez deal to Al Hilal could have ramifications for Isak because obviously that's Liverpool another striker short, and they were looking for one anyway, which is why they made that bid on Friday for Isak of £110 million plus add-ons, which of course was flatly rejected by Newcastle. But that just adds a bit more intrigue to the Isak situation because there's another spot up for grabs in that Liverpool attack with Núñez about to leave. So that will be interesting to see what happens there, and whether Liverpool still come back in despite the fact Newcastle have yet to essentially replace or bring in a replacement for Isak. Liverpool FC Transfer News Live, Alexander Isak meeting, Darwin Núñez price tag, Harvey Elliott exit. Hello and welcome to the Echo's latest Liverpool Transfer News live blog on Wednesday, August 6th. The focus has turned to Sunday's Community Shield curtain raiser against Crystal Palace at Wembley. However, the discussion remains centered around the transfer window with Liverpool's ongoing interest in Alexander Isak. The Swede returned to England this week after continuing his preparations at former club Real Sociedad, while his Newcastle teammates were on their pre-season tour. Liverpool have already had a bid rejected for the want-away striker, with reports suggesting that the Magpies would need to source a replacement and receive an acceptable offer before accepting. Benjamin Sesko was considered as an option to replace the Swede, and the North East club saw their second bid for the Slovenian accepted. However, Manchester United challenged them in the battle, and the 22-year-old made his intentions clear to join the Red Devils. Meanwhile, Darwin Núñez is the topic of Saudi Arabian and Italian interest. Al Hilal were reported to have reached an agreement with the Reds over the Uruguayan. However, Liverpool have yet to receive a bid, and it is expected he will be a part of the squad that will head to the capital to face Palace. Reports surrounding Harvey Elliott's future have also increased in the last 24 hours. RB Leipzig are said to be pushing to sign the England under-21 star with his first-team opportunities uncertain at Anfield for the forthcoming season. Darwin Núñez price tag. The Athletic's initial report believe Liverpool and Al Hilal have come to a €53 million, £46 million, transfer agreement for striker Darwin Núñez. But additional information here would suggest the exact total of add-ons included in the deal. They say Núñez's move to Saudi Arabia could eventually rise to €65 million, £56.5 million. Alexander Isak status. As reported by Chronicle Live, Alexander Isak is set to train alone at Newcastle United amid Liverpool's interest and his expression of desire to leave. He has been ordered by his current club to train away from the first-team squad and get treatment on the thigh injury that kept him out of their pre-season tour of the Far East. Not only this omission sparks concerns over his future as a Magpies player, but also the fact Sky Sports claim the striker has been told to only report for training after the rest of the squad have taken part in a social barbecue for the rest of the players, staff and their families. Eddie Howe had previously warned Isak that he would have to earn the right to train with the team again. Al Hilal reach agreement in principle to sign Darwin Núñez. The Athletic have reported that Al Hilal have reached an agreement in principle to sign Darwin Núñez. The 26-year-old has reportedly indicated his willingness to make the move to the Saudi Pro League, with the deal worth around €53 million, £46 million, plus add-ons. Liverpool are said to have allowed Núñez to negotiate with Simone Inzaghi's side. Steps are still needed to complete the move, it has been reported. Al Hilal reached £46 million agreement with Liverpool, but personal terms yet to be agreed. Fabrizio Romano has claimed that agreement between Liverpool and Al Hilal is 100% done. The deal is said to be €53 million, £46 million, with heavy add-ons. However, work is still reportedly ongoing to get the green light from Núñez regarding personal terms. Darwin Núñez to Al Hilal transfer latest. Darwin Núñez is expected to be involved in Liverpool's Community Shield showdown with Crystal Palace. Echo can confirm. It comes amid growing speculation surrounding his future with Al Hilal, and now, AC Milan interested. We can confirm that there is currently no deal in place with Al Hilal, but the Uruguayan and his representatives are in talks with the Saudi Arabian club. Newcastle to make Alexander Isak transfer decision as alternative emerges. Chronicle Live have reported that Newcastle United are going to make a decision on Alexander Isak today. The Magpies will have to decide whether to integrate him back to the squad for the encounters against Espanyol and Atletico Madrid. It's added that the club are aware of the latest blow regarding Benjamin Sesko. However, the door may not be entirely closed if the Swede's intent remains to join Liverpool. Goncalo Ramos has been deemed an alternative with the Paris Saint-Germain. Ollie Watkins and Yoane Wissa are admired by the recruitment chiefs in the northeast, but it has been said neither fit the bill of Isak's quality, and their arrival would be more viewed as Callum Wilson's replacement. Thanks for watching. Like and comment and subscribe.